So today I'm going to start off by going through a bit about details about the project assignment. So the idea, there are two options. So the first one is that what I hope you will do is to submit the proposal for your own idea for a project. And if you go into there is a proposal submission thing here. It's also on the documentation page. The idea that you will find two or more of the things we have gone through in this course and integrate that with your own research work. The idea that I have this project proposal submission first, that is not that you suppose a final project. So submit a half or a quarter or a page description of what you want to do. Just so I can see that it is not like a one-year project. So the idea is that you should be able to do this in a full week's work. Spread out over time, of course, but that's the idea. So two or more topics like NumPy, Matplotlib, PyVTK, ParaView, PyQt, PySci6, Fortran, F2Py. It's not really, you don't have, find something that would work in your own research area. So that is the idea. So submit that proposal where you feel ready, and I will go through them and give you a thumbs up to continue with that. I haven't set the deadline for the final proposal deadline, but somewhere in January will be the final deadline, end of January or something like that. If you can't figure out any your own project ideas, there is also, let's see here, there's one. Particles in a box. So in this case here, you implement a small particle system. There is one part that is a Fortran implementation. And you will get, there is a skeleton code here that you can start from. And then you should also make a F2Py interface for the Fortran code and create a visualizer in Python. So there's a lot of skeleton code here. So what you will implement is the actual particle simulation and the user interface for visualizing the particles. So that is the optional one. So it's not that you have to do both. So if you have your own, submit your own proposal. If you don't find something to do, you can use this one here. But I hope you will do for your own research, because it's always fun to kind of look through how you can use this course in your own research in different ways. So that is that part. The second part I want to talk to a bit today is environments. So I will go in here. So up until now, perhaps you have used the Conda Forge installer. You have created a module for this course, for the Python parts. But when you are doing research in the future and you want to implement Python code, you can quickly get into a situation where you have installed so many modules and things in your environment that you can't install anymore, or you can't install that package you want. Because that is something that we unfortunately have to live with in Python and packages management, is that you can install an environment where at some point you can't install more packages. It can also be that you have a package that relies on Python PyQt5 and some other package relies on PyQt6, and it's really hard to combine these requirements into a single environment. So what you can do then is you can use environments. And I will show you with examples instead of going through it. It's documented on the web page, but also on the course homepage as well. So when you start Anaconda, you get this empty command prompt here, and it says base here. And that means that you're in the base environment. So if you install Conda from scratch, the Mini Forge installer, you will get some base packages. We can do Conda list. So Conda is the command to manipulate your environment with. If we do list here, we will get a list of packages installed in this environment. So it shouldn't be too many. It could be that I have by mistake installed too many, but these are the base packages that are part of the base installation. So For example, here is no NumPy here in this. What you can do then is you can create your own environments. So for example, if I do conda env for environment list, I can show you all the environments I have installed in my computer. You can see that the star here means that this is the environment I'm currently in. So it's a base environment. And then you can see I have, so I'm one of the developers of the Calframe toolkit. So I have some environments here to test out different things. So for example, here I have an environment with NumPy 1, an environment with NumPy 2, just to kind of check how compatible it is. I have a main development environment, which I have the latest packages in. I have a test environment here. I think this is something I created for the course as well. I also have some compute environments here for different versions of them. I have an environment where I'm writing documentation. I use the MakeDocs tool. I have an environment that just contains MakeDocs, nothing else. I have a environment here which I'm using when I'm writing my book. And I have a Sphinx environment here for writing documentation and books, online books here. We're using the Sphinx documentation tool. So I'm not mixing these. These are completely standalone environments. So, and you can create your own. So I'm going to... there are some inconsistencies in conda environment creation. For example, to list environment, you do conda env list. If you want to create an environment, you do conda create minus n for the name of the environment. So I do my n1 here. If you just do this, it will create an empty environment. There is not even a Python interpreter in it. Which is something you probably always want. So the first thing you do when you create a new environment, what base Python do you need? So it could be, for example, you have a package environment where you that only supports Python 3.9. Then you can do Python equals to 3.9. Then you do this. Then it goes out and figures out what packages you need. Unfortunately, it did take some time, so I have to wait a bit. It's also a problem when I'm recording video at the same time that it takes some more time to do this. Now you will see that I have an older version of conda, which you can also update using this command here, but we will skip that for this exercise here. So now you get the question here. So, okay, so it found Python 3.9.23. So it always takes the latest version of that Python interpreter. And then it also says that I will also install the following packages. So this will create you a really small Python environment, just basic Python. Let's do yes. And then it downloads all the packages.
Is that different from creating just a virtual environment?
So it's different one.
But is this different than creating a virtual environment like VM? Python, and then
it's
installing whatever.
It's very similar. It's just this is I would say more user friendly implemented in Conda. So there are more manual steps in VM, but it is the same technology in the bottom. So and I think I also in the course documentation there are instructions how to do it using venv as well. So now we have. It also tells you what to do. So now we are in the base environment, so it doesn't automatically go into that environment. So now to activate, we do conda activate my and we can just do Python minus b here just to see here. So I'm running 3.12 here, and if I do conda activate my n1. If I do Python -b here, you can see I'm running 3.9. And now when I'm in this environment here, I can continue installing other packages. So for example, I can do conda, install numpy, scipy. How we do numpy matplotlib like this. We don't overload it here. These will be installed in that environment. So you have to be a bit careful because it's really easy to make a mistake that you're in the wrong environment and you install a lot of packages and then you pollute your environment. So now what it does is it checks the dependencies here, what additional package to install. The nice thing with this conda is also that you can mix conda and pip. So pip packages are also handled by conda, and they're kind of you can mix them in the single environment. But my recommendation is to always try to install the conda packages first. If it's not in conda, then you go to pip. Sometimes it's not possible because there is only pip packages, but then because usually, for example, NumPy and Matplotlib are optimized packages that are built with more performance libraries in conda. And if you're using pip, you get kind of more the vanilla packages. So now you can see here that also the problem with Python packages. So I specify 2 packages now. And now I get all of these packages here. So this is unfortunately what happens when you install more and more packages in your environment, that you get a lot of packages. So you can see, for example, it installs MKL 2025.3. That means that you get optimized NumPy libraries that are really fast. You can also see that we actually got PySide 6 in the same environment now, so you don't have to install that. Now you can see here that we should have all the packages here. And if we do Python, this is later we also have import so we have all these packages. Deactivate. You can also do all of these in a single step here. So conda, create -n, Python, my n2. So then, these here, there are additional packages will be installed. So specify Python version and then the additional package you want in the single line here as well. So here in the course environment here, there is how to use conda environments. There is also how to use pipenv and use virtual environments as well. It's also a possibility. So if you already have an environment, you can clone it so that you can make an additional environment that is an identical copy of a previous one. So then you can have, for example, a template environment that you can use for new projects. So in this case here, I can now I have my m2, so I can do, for example, conda create -n my n2 3, and then I do clone my clone, yeah, sorry, I'm incorrect. Clone my n2 like this. So now you can see it will make a copy of an existing package environment. One thing to note here, you will need a lot of disk space to do this. So in essence, every package environment will be a copy, a complete Python installation. On Linux, sometimes they have optimized this so you get soft links and stuff like this, but on a Windows machine, at least I have to regularly remove some package environments that I don't use because they take a lot gigabytes of space in your computer. So now you can see I have conda activate and my v, and you can see Python -v 5312 here. Conda deactivate. You can switch the environments within an environment. So I can go to conda activate my n2, and you can conda deactivate, then you go back to the previous one like that. But you also can do, you can export your environment. So there are two different versions. You can do conda list, and then you can if you do, for example, conda list you get exactly the packages that you have installed for that environment. And you can, for example, you can do export this to a spec file. So output to spec file.txt. And then you can use that to see, I have to remember the command here. Conda create -n my 4. So you can see now it took all the packages and recreated those, and then you get exactly the package environment that you need. And that is where, if you want a reproducible science, this is what you should do. You should make sure that if somebody else should run your application, you can actually, here's a spec file. These are the packages I've used for running this experiment, for example. There is also another one that you can use to, let's see here.
Does the spec file also specify which version of the package?
Yes. You can see there are versions here. And there is also actual what's it called? The signature from the repo as well. So it's very specific. And then, but there's also one more you can do. Let's see if I can have this here. Yes, you can export as well, and then you can create a YAML file. So let's see here. So you get the file as in this syntax instead, but it's basically similar to what you did before. You get the version numbers, the packages, and then you can do the same thing on the other way around. You can use conda end create file my end, and then in this way instead. So it's very similar, and that will create you reproducible environments. And you can do this in. You have to be if you want to have. There are some instructions. If you want to use this in notebooks, you need to. If you have environments that you want to use in a notebook, you need to make sure that there are some libraries that interface with the notebook kernel. We have that on our Lunark pages to do that as well, but so I'm not going to that too deep today. And you can so conda in the list. So now we will see we'll have a lot of environments here. I can remove an environment. So conda n remove minus n my n4. Yes. And it actually makes another extra question here, because it will remove all the files that you have in your environment. So they are stored. Now I'm in a Windows machine, but there is an NVS directory here with a folder for each environment. So it will remove that folder. So yes, conda in the list. And then also conda activate. So for example, it's quite possible to use pip. So pip install and also the conda package command will also recognize all the packages that are installed with pip. So it integrates well together. You have to be a bit careful when there are packages that are available in both, so you can get into problem when you get clashes with different packages. If I do, oh, sorry, wrong command. Conda list. You can see here I installed Calfem Python, and you can see here that it's identified with pip and pipey here. So it will recognize all the packages that have been installed in the single environment. Another thing that has come up with you when you're doing the Qt applications is that Qt Designer is a kind of a deprecated application. So I just want to show you how you can create your UI files in Qt Creator. And Qt Creator should be available on Mac and Windows in a modern version of application, so you shouldn't be a problem installing that. So I have my Qt Creator here. So you go into new file, then you go to Qt, and then you go to Qt Designer, let's see here, UI, Designer form, and there is UI on this file here. You create that, and here you can select from different kinds of windows you want to do. If you want to do a main application window, you do main window. Press next. You tell it where to put it. Next, next. And then you get the kind of the designer interface inside Qt Creator. And here you can then drag your items in, your tool buttons, your radio buttons, and you can save the UI file here. However, it's important when you're using the Qt Creator like this, it uses it's Qt6 as the base. So it's important that you do not use Qt5 because it can't load the UI files properly. There are some things that in the Qt6 UI file that are not compatible. So PySide 6 or Qt6. Make sure that you have that in your Python install. Then it should work fine. So it works just like the Qt Designer, except that you have some additional things here on the left here, but you can ignore it. It's these things that are important here. You have the property inspector here, you have the object window here, you have the action editor below here. So all the things that you should have should work just like Qt Designer. I was hoping that they would keep the standalone version, but apparently it's available in, I think, in Windows, but not on Mac. So I think it will be gone in some versions of Conda Forge as well at some point. There is a guy, I think if you don't get to work, there is a person that has created standalone binaries, but they are not signed, so it's not kind of the recommended way. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. And I'm looking forward to your project assignments or project proposals.